And welcome back. Sticking with the politics lead, sources telling CNN that Attorney General Jeff Sessions is considering whether he should fire former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. McCabe is just days away from official retirement. He would lose his pension if he doesn't make it till Sunday, if he gets fired. An internal review is expected to show that McCabe misled investigators who were looking into press leaks. Apparently, McCabe authorized some at the FBI to talk to reporters about a Clinton Foundation probe after his wife's ties to the Clintons had been revealed. Joining me to talk about this and much more is outgoing Republican Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona. He serves on the Judiciary Committee and the Foreign Relations Committee, among others. Senator, thanks for joining us. What do you make of this whole thing of firing McCabe ahead of his official retirement, just a few days, so he loses his pension because he misled investigators, allegedly?
This is the first I've heard of it, so it's been a busy day. I'm sorry. I haven't heard of it. It would seem to be a little odd to fire somebody just to deprive them of their pension unless there was just cause, and I just don't know if that just cause is there. I haven't seen this.
Fair enough, sir. This was last night a stinging defeat for Republicans in Pennsylvania.
Right.
What lessons do you take away from the loss of what was considered a safe Republican seat?
I think it's a big lesson. It's a lesson that you can only drill down on the base so far. We've got to broaden our appeal, and that's why I've been worried about where the Republican Party is going. We can't win statewide elections like this. We can't win in purple districts like this. So it should be a big wake-up call for Republicans.
Now, you said over the weekend that perhaps a Republican should challenge President Trump in 2020. You're heading to New Hampshire next week. What do you think the odds are that you might be that Republican to challenge President Trump? 50%?
No, they're long odds. It's not in my plans. I haven't ruled it out, but I do think and I do hope that a Republican will challenge the president, and just to remind Republicans what Republicans stand for: limited government, economic freedom, free trade, immigration. These are things that appeal to a broader base of the party, and I think can win elections in the future. But if we continue to just drill down on the base, I don't think that our electoral fortunes are very bright.
Is there anyone you can think of who delivers the message that you're talking about other than you? John Kasich, Ben Sasse?
Yeah, John Kasich, Ben Sasse would be great representatives for that message. There are a number of people, a number of governors out there as well. But I just think that traditional Republicans, and it's not just believing in the principles of conservatism, but it's being conservative in demeanor and comportment as well, and not insulting people, not going to a rally and hoping to appeal to a broader base to win an election by making fun of the Democrats or tamping down criticism of Kim Jong-un while encouraging criticism of our free press. These are things that just are going to make it very difficult for Republicans to win in the future if we embrace that kind of message.
You and I have talked about this before, about how during a different era in this country, during the McCarthy era, which you wrote about in your book, there were a lot of Republicans who thought that they could straddle these worlds of the indecent and the decent by just not taking a position. You obviously feel that you have to take a position. Why are so few Republicans willing to criticize things that are just on their face outrageous, like attacks, very personal attacks on Democrats, on the free press, et cetera?
Well, I can tell you, as a member of Congress that gets the questions daily, hourly from the press, whenever you get outside of your office in the hallway, it gets tiresome to answer these questions, and you can't answer them all, and you can't respond to every tweet or statement out of the White House. Having said that, when the president makes certain statements or insults people or takes certain actions, then it's our responsibility as elected officials to stand up and say, this is out of bounds, this we cannot stand for. And I hope that we have more people who will stand up and say that.
You've criticized President Trump for firing Secretary of State Tillerson via tweet. It is interesting, considering that the president's catchphrase is "you're fired," that so seldom is he able to actually deliver that to somebody's face. Why do you think that is?
You know, I don't know, but I think that somebody who has served honorably as Secretary of State for over a year deserves better. And Rex Tillerson certainly deserved better than that. I think anybody who serves the government in that way and gives it their all, and maybe doesn't agree with the president on everything, and they shouldn't agree on everything, but to be fired that way without even a conversation, that's one thing that's kind of out of bounds, and we ought to say, that's just not right.
Sources tell CNN that President Trump is considering replacing his national security advisor, General H.R. McMaster, so that he can build a team more in sync with his thinking on issues such as Iran or North Korea. One name being floated is John Bolton, a notable hawk and interventionist. What do you make of John Bolton?
Well, I just know that H.R. McMaster has served, I think, the president well, and the president would do well to have, if not a team of rivals, certainly people who will question some of the moves that he wants to make, or will slow down to say, hey, it's fine and good to sit down with the North Korean leader, but before you do, here are the things that need to take place first. Those are the kind of things that an H.R. McMaster or a Tillerson bring to the table, that I'm concerned that if others get there and simply agree with the president on all these moves, that's not good for the country. We ought to, it takes more to do foreign policy than just have a meeting with a foreign leader. I'll be talking about some of these things tomorrow at the National Press Club.
All right, Senator Jeff Flake, Republican of Arizona, thanks so much for your time. As always, we appreciate that.
Thank you.